What is up there, SEO pros? Today I'm here with Cameron P. And I'm not pronouncing his last name because I always get it wrong, but you will see his full name in the title of the video. Either way, the thing that you shouldn't be worried about is his last name. The thing you should be worried about is how good he is at actually doing SEO. Cameron has a few tutorials on YouTube, and I think one of them actually outranked me at one point. Probably still outranking me for local SEO. He knows a lot about marketing in general, which is really the part that I sort of like the most about him. I'm sorry to keep talking about you like you're not here, but no, to be honest though, I love having conversations with you, Cameron, and I'm really happy to have you on here, and hopefully other people can benefit from this conversation I have with you today.
Dude, it's definitely vice versa, man. I've been a fan of you. I think we started doing at least YouTube around the same time. You know, I've watched a lot of your videos. I'm definitely a fan. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Nice. I'm just posting this on Facebook.
For sure.
Yeah, I kind of bummed. Well, what happened, for those of you guys who don't know, Cameron and I have been trying to get connected for a while, but I wound up being really busy. And then we wound up getting on a phone call just discussing some collaboration opportunities. And we wound up getting on this crazy long phone call. I think it was like an hour and a half or something.
Right.
Started talking all about, what was it, like AI in the world and getting taken over and all this crazy stuff.
Right.
And I was like, damn it, I wish this would have been a conversation that other people could have listened to. So we don't actually have an outline for this video besides probably talking about what we're doing with SEO. But I think that's kind of how our conversations go anyways. I don't think you and at least I don't do well with structure. I don't know about you.
If you're man, I mean, maybe a tiny bit of structure is sometimes I like, but overall, letting things flow naturally is always great.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, I do know some things I want to talk about. One of which is your website.
Yeah.
So Cameron has this website that is bringing in a good amount of about a good amount of traffic around different keywords around SEO. I won't say the name because I don't necessarily know if you want me to share that or not.
No, you can share it. So yeah, keywordsheaven.com. And then we have a Medium blog that's around that too. Basically, we're making tools. We have, moving towards consulting services. If you're looking to do rank and rent and that kind of thing, those are some of the services we have. And also just blogging about SEO, getting traffic that way, bringing in client leads, which I definitely think that, ironically, SEO is one of the best ways for an SEO to bring in SEO client leads. And I think a lot of people kind of don't do that in their own agency business. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, let's tell, or at least can you tell the people listening the strategy you came up with around how you're actually ranking the site, because it's not your site.
Yeah. Okay. So it's basically what's called a Parricide SEO. So a lot of our content is actually published on our Medium blog. That's a branded Medium blog. And the great thing about that too is it's actually pushing juice to the site, because it's like off page rather than being like an on page, which still, an on page blog still does build authority too. I mean, arguably more authority, but the off page like creates like the link juice and like the traffic from somewhere else. But essentially we're using the high domain authority. I don't even like using that word specifically related to Moz metrics, but just like the power of that blog in order to rank very easily for, somewhat competitive terms in the SEO niche, but of course also putting high quality content on that platform And then, also when you're on a high authority platform, you're kind of allowed to do things that you might not be able to do on your own website, like we've used spammier type of links with no issues at all. We've used, sometimes you can do even a little bit of keyword stuffing. And what I've noticed is that Google, when it's a big brand, they just pretty much, the rules are different. They kind of let you do what you want to do, and they'll take kindly to like almost anything.
So that's interesting, though. Do you think that that's going to work for other websites? Because I know that somebody asked me earlier, they said, Chase, my website dropped after getting a bunch of negative SEO done to it. But Google says that links aren't supposed to be a ranking factor, or not a ranking factor, what's it called? A negative signal. They just devalue them now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, what I would say is I'm going to reword that and say that the links seem to have like a much more direct and fast impact on high authority websites, also called parasites, also called barnacles by some people in white hat circles, like moths and stuff like that. So like you'll just see a way fast, I guess, impact of the links. And also you'll just rank, at least from my experience, just like even without links, like really fast, just from the high authority of the site. There's no sandboxing, if you try to get a new site. There's no like super long waiting periods for content to rank. It's everything is just shortened when you have a powerful domain.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like if you were to explain like link building to somebody who doesn't do link building, like what would be your main recommendations?
So if I'm doing Parricide SEO or if I'm doing it on a website?
I mean, you could probably hit on both, right?
Okay. So if I was doing link building to a Parasite, I probably would just, get a basic link foundation, which would just be like links from like YouTube videos and like simple stuff like PDFs and whatever submissions. And then once you have that to kind of like pad the anchor text too a little bit. Although the other thing is on Parasites, you're not allowed to, but you can get away with higher anchor text keyword percentages too. So then I would go and just pretty much just get PBNs, and not my own PBNs, just bought PBNs usually. And just, point them directly at the page, and, use keyword anchor text on at least like 10 to 20% of it. And you're going to be able to do that while another site without that high authority domain might get penalized by Penguin if they do something like that. So the anchor text is going to help. Then you could do press releases. You could do guest posting.
But like, say for instance, you wanted to rank a page for, let's say you wanted to rank for top 100 SEO tips and you wanted to rank for the keywords SEO tips. What would be the difference between the links you would build on Medium versus the links you would just build straight to a site for that?
So on a site, I know that social promotion definitely helps out. And I'm pretty cautious on actual sites. What I would basically do is I might still do that link foundation, but I would relaunch the content on different platforms. So I would, put a video on the YouTube channel that would be the exact topic, embedded in there too, and which is going to build some relevance, but also, send traffic from those platforms. Make a boosted post on Facebook, all those, and then just go out and try to guest post on other sites, link back to it. I would keep it pretty white hat if I was doing it on my own site, because the other thing is it's a long-term asset, and you don't want anything getting damaged or anything like that, you know.
Right. But like if you were to build it on Medium, you would just be like blasting it with PBNs and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I have done really well just doing that, and no issues at all. Like, you know, some people might have had issues with these. You know, people do it. I know, like, I think her name's Holly Stark. She does it with YouTube. You know, she used to do it with links. I think now she does it with more user engagement, like bot traffic and stuff like that. Or I don't know exactly what she does, but that's, you know, another thing that you can kind of look at if you want to get kind of black hat is trying to do by like social signals and bot traffic and stuff like that. That might,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So what would be the reason why you would start your own site then? Are you just going to make a bunch of articles like other than SEO as well on Medium, or?
Well, see, the thing with making your own site is you have more opportunities to, one is to monetize, and two is to just basically do whatever you want. Unfortunately, when you're on a Parricide platform, you're kind of subjected to, you know, their rules. So, you know, you can't be just putting, you can't even put ads, I believe, on Medium, or you can't, there's limited functionality. You can't have as good of a, you know, conversion rate optimization. You know, you can't have like your opt-in and things like that popping up. And
But do you really need all that stuff these days? I mean, like, yeah, you do, but at the same time, like,
you don't, and that's why if I was to recommend someone that wanted to start their own blog, maybe they want to make like a niche website, like an Amazon affiliate type site or something, I think it is a good opportunity to do it on Medium because, you know, they allow affiliate links in the articles, and I believe YouTube does too. They allow affiliate links in like the descriptions and the tags, or not the tags, the things that pop up in the video. I don't know what they're called, but
oh yeah, I think they're tags.
yeah. And so yeah, I mean, they allow that stuff, and the other thing is, I think you get a better click-through rate optimization because of the brand recognition in the SERPs.
Right.
So whenever someone sees like Medium or YouTube or LinkedIn, you know, they're more inclined to go to that site because they know that site, they trust that site versus, you know, Bob's blog about something else.
Right. Okay. So like what have you been working on lately in terms of like because I know
So
you were doing a bunch of blog posts and getting those to rank.
yeah, so I am focused on, you know, building things in the SEO niche. At first I was, you know, skeptical about it because I was like, you know, I'd probably do a lot better in another niche that's a little bit less competitive. Um, but, you know, at the same time, you want to kind of write about and create content about stuff you like and know about.
Right.
So I'm doing a little bit there. I'm doing a little bit with, you know, building out some Amazon affiliate sites, like I was saying, uh, and a lot of those as well using parasites like Medium, and basically, you know, for the most part, just how-to tutorials, and then just kind of being like, hey, if you want to, like, you know, do this thing, we recommend using this product or whatnot. That, and then the third thing is like pay-per-call type websites that I'm mainly looking to monetize with affiliate networks, because those have been probably the most profitable passive income source that I've been able to kind of come across, especially for the time you kind of put into it. It's, you know, you can make a big blog, and it, you know, obviously it takes a lot of time to make all that content, or if you try to buy the content, it's, you know, you got to figure out how to figure that out, all hiring the writers and stuff. But, you know, I have one page pay-per-call sites that, you know, do a decent amount every month, and I don't touch them, so I really like that.
How are you? You told me this already, I think, but how are you ranking those pay-per-call sites?
So what I focus on is keyword research. You know, I'm just looking for the opportunity where I'll throw up a one-page site. I'll put, get a maps listing to it, and I'll do like basic citation social profiles, totally white hat, right?
Mhm.
But I just find these opportunities where, a lot of times I'll just hit the 3-pack like instantly, like right when I verify the maps listing, it's in the 3-pack.
Well, how are you? Okay, so let's talk about that. How are you getting the map listings?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I think you talked about it on your channel too, the Craigslist method,
Mhm.
basically just putting an ad on there and saying, hey, if someone can help me and you have an address in this city, we'll give you a, you know, $40, $100, whatever you want to give them. And usually you're able to get an address.
So you just tell people on Craigslist, you're like, hey, look, I'm looking for somebody in this area to give me their address and I'll verify it for $40.
Yeah, basically. And then you tell them, it's not going to be shown on Google or Bing. It's just for verification purposes, which is true because, you got to hide their address. You don't want to be sending people to their house and stuff like that.
Have you seen the people who actually they do something similar to that? They like buy verifications and they'll sell them for like $200 each.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. And actually, we do provide like a service kind of like that, but we usually recommend that people just go out and do it themselves because uh it's definitely doable. It does take a lot of time. You get a lot of people calling you like, uh, hey man, what is this for or whatever, and you'll be like, well, it's this. And some people think it's weird, but other people will just do it and they're like, I need money or whatever. So
Yeah. Okay. And then like for the actual niches you're ranking, what do you think are like some of the most profitable to like sell leads out?
If you want to work directly with like lead contractors or lead buyers, like the people that are actually the service provider, then you want to do something like in the emergency niches if you're just starting out.
Mhm.
And stuff like that, like water damage restoration, fire damage, even like mold removal, even though that's a little bit less. And the reason is because those leads convert really high to actual jobs for the person that's buying the lead from you.
And how do you sell the leads? Do you just contact somebody in that area or?
Yeah, so you can contact, basically just cold call, find someone there. You just say, hey, like basically I'm gonna run your card for X amount every time. Usually I do it 5 times the average CPC for the main keywords in that area is what I charge for a lead.
And what if they say, oh well, what if I just get a lead off of Yellow Pages or off of Google? What's the difference? Have they ever said that
Well,
to you?
yeah, but the difference is that I guarantee a qualified phone call. If
Right.
you're just, running pay per click, the only thing you're guaranteed is a click to your site, which in reality doesn't mean anything for a business owner,
Right.
you know. So, so that's the difference. It's
So do
basically
you do AdWords then too, or just?
yeah, you could run any traffic source. You could run Craigslist even.
No, I'm saying, do you though?
Uh, so the other thing you could do, so like let's say you secure a deal with a local water damage company for $400 a call, which is not abnormal at all. Um, and then you basically find affiliates that can work for you, and they'll run other traffic sources. And maybe you say, I'll pay you like $200 a call or something like that. So
Hmm.
you could actually get into like brokering calls too.
Hmm.
And I do have people that work under me. One guy runs AdWords and stuff like that. I try to focus on SEO, and I do a little bit of Craigslist too. But I don't. I try not to get too into other stuff. I can run AdWords. I like Bing ads too. Bing ads are, sometimes they convert well, but I noticed that there's a lot of like fake clicks out there, like competitors clicking on ads, and I don't think they have the as good of click fraud systems as Google has to prevent that kind of stuff.
Right.
So you know that, but that's one avenue too. You know, Bing ads, you can, you know, probably not in the emergency niches, but a lot of people do even like Facebook ads, generate leads. And I think if someone's starting out in SEO and they want to, you know, learn how to do this stuff, it's only to me it's only fair that you start with something performance based, because you don't want to be getting someone to pay you, you know, $2,000 a month and you don't know what you're doing, you know.
Right.
So, I think it makes you a better marketer, because you need to get the result. If you don't make the phone ring, you don't get paid. So,
Yeah.
I think when I started doing the pay per call, pay per lead type stuff, it made me a lot better as an SEO actually, because all I was focused on was making the phone ring.
Right.
But the other thing I just wanted to mention is you don't have to work with a local provider, right? You can. There's actually affiliate networks out there that will pay you for calls. So they will make a deal with the local providers, and they will just broker the lead for you. You don't have to do anything, and you basically get a check or whatever, direct deposit, whatever you agree on with the company. And it just makes things easier. I think the best way to do it would be to start with that, and then once you have a bunch of leads, maybe go and just find people in the areas to just increase how much you get per lead.
Okay. And then for the content for the site, what do you do there? Do you just like buy content writers? Do you write it yourself or what?
Usually I try to write it myself, if I have time, and I'll, you know, do long, like 1,000 words, usually even on local sites.
Is this like actual full sites with like topical content, service pages, internal linking, blog posts, all that stuff, or just
No, man, just one page. Like, because you gotta realize, like, that stuff is good, but you gotta like think about the cost per time benefit, right? So, like, I could spend all this time like ranking this local town that I got a maps listing in, or I could just go out and make a new site in another area, or, you know, make a page on that site and expand to other areas,
right?
and stuff like that. So
Do you keep it all under one site or is it multiple sites?
I do it under multiple sites because I, you know, like to diversify. You know, getting maps listings is technically against Google's policy if you're not a real business. So there's
Are you
always,
afraid about that?
to a small extent, you know. Yeah, but that's why I like to diversify the business with, you know, Amazon sites and different affiliate assets. But you know, I haven't had any, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues so far with that. Ironically, the only one I had taken down was actually my own house that I registered one at. Yeah. And it was because I was doing a kind of a test where I made the website on the listing a parasite. So I made it one of the citations. I think I made it like the Angie's List citation or something like that. And it just instantly ranked, I think. And then I think got taken down like a week later, and Google's like, you can't, like, you have to like use your website or something.
Aw.
Yeah, I know.
That's
So
really funny though.
yeah, because I was like, well, if I can just use a parasite, this would just be really easy, you know? But I guess they thought of that.
We got a question from Albert Einstein. He says, Cameron, can you shed some light on what you do to rank higher in the map pack?
So like, again, I think what happens is, you know, of course you need the basic like citation, social profiles. You need like good on-page SEO, but you need to not be like wasting your time. So if you're trying to rank for like Movers Miami or something, you're gonna require a lot of content. You know, if you do link building, a lot of link building, a lot of stuff like that. So it's probably better to just go and find good opportunities, and you know, a monkey can rank that stuff, honestly.
How do you determine keyword difficulty, by the way? Do you use just like Ahrefs and like look at like the metrics, or what do you do?
So I do look at, you know, the keyword difficulty score, but the main way that I can tell if I can rank in an area is if there isn't a lot of listings for the main keyword. So I won't even look at so much like the organic search, because I think the Ahrefs does a decent job of kind of checking the organic results. But I'm usually more so looking at the maps results. And one thing I'm gauging too is how many reviews the people in the 3-pack have for the main keywords, because it's going to be hard to be getting a good click-through rate, you know, if you don't have, if you're an affiliate site. I mean, you're probably going to have 0 reviews. You know, there's some stuff you can do that's black hat to get reviews or whatever, but you know, you want to make your job easier. So find ones where there's about 6 listings in the map, keyword difficulty 0, and you know, a decent search volume, and make and if you can find it where, you know, you got to get the listing near the city center too. That usually seems to help, and also put the keyword in the business name. Then you could probably rank.
Okay. And then you said reviews. What do you do for review generation?
So, I mean, it's hard to, you know, you could just buy reviews, whatever. I don't know. I just try to find areas where there aren't a lot of reviews. And it does, sometimes it does kind of suck, because what could happen is whoever you're sending out there, like if you're ranked for like plumber in whatever city, and then, you know, you're selling the leads to some plumber there, and the plumber there goes and does a bad job, and then they go and review your listing bad. It's like, it kind of sucks, but you know,
Right.
that's part of the deal.
I actually
Yeah.
came up with a pretty good method to get reviews in any niche. So
Yeah.
what you do is you do content marketing or Facebook or whatever, and you give away a
Right.
tip for free. Then you build an asset that they can go to, like, by the way, get the free Facebook group or the free PDF. And
Yeah.
then once you capture that traffic, you ask them for a review based on what you taught them.
Yeah. No, I like that, man. I mean, I think you can definitely get, but you got to realize you got a ton of these maps listings. You're really not a big brand with these affiliate sites. You're just a little kind of like asset there, sitting there, just kind of ranking.
I know, but I don't care what company you are. If you have an audience from like a blog or a YouTube channel or whatever, you can utilize that to leave you a review based on the brand that they saw that taught them.
True, because yeah, like I've seen you do that with like, I think you probably do that with Santa Barbara iPhone repair, right?
Yeah, dude, I got like 49 reviews for that or something ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to get you a better click-through rate, a better call-through rate if you have a lot of reviews, you know?
I mean,
So,
that thing's number one and it will not budge, dude. I have competitors who want
oh,
to
for
outrank
sure. Because, you know, people think about um, people don't think about the click-through rate. They think about, oh, if I get reviews, that's a ranking factor. But the bigger thing is, if you get reviews, you get a bigger click-through rate, which will push your rankings higher.
Yeah, and if you do end up building service pages, you can actually use that as actually, you know what? Google just said you can't do that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they said you can't use your Google reviews for aggregate rating, which I think is really kind of dumb.
Yeah. I thought they did that a while ago, man.
I think they did too, but they just made another announcement because apparently people are still doing it.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten client sites where it's just all like that, and I'm like, oh man, hope they've not been penalized when I first see the site. because, but it's I mean, I feel like it's harsh if they penalize people for that, because I always think about these businesses that, you know, maybe they don't know so much about SEO, or they don't even know how to log into their website, and all of a sudden their whole business is in shambles because they had someone did aggregate review like 4 years ago on their site, and now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing too. Like, you know, 4 years ago somebody built a bunch of sketchy links, right? It's like it's still they got to do something, you know.
That's what this one client came to me. He was a limo service client. He said back in 2012, or like around that time when Penguin came out, like he was, before that he was doing like 10 calls a day. He was like ranked #1 for like limo service Miami. And also I think at that time Uber wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
And then he said Penguin came and just crashed everything, and like overnight he just lost like 90% of his business or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happens, dude. And you don't have multiple assets because
No, it's true too. Yeah.
you're relying all on, or even just if you're only relying on organic traffic. I mean, even just Google alone is a liability.
I mean, but if you're, yeah, no, that's true, because if you're a local business, you want to look at all the, you know, common traffic sources, which I would say are Craigslist, Yelp, because you can actually rank inside of Yelp too. You know, people do Yelp searches all the time. What was I going to say? Facebook Marketplace is one that I don't see a lot of people using. You can do, you know, regular Facebook ads, pay-per-click, Bing ads. So I know, like, you're right. There's a lot of opportunities that a lot of people are just kind of leaving on the table, even local businesses.
Yeah. Okay, so what about like more national based content? You're saying like the Amazon affiliate stuff, like you didn't really fill me in too much on like, I mean, I
Yeah.
know what you're doing with the medium and ranking that stuff, but like in terms of choosing products and stuff like that, what do you go for?
Okay, so more so you're trying to just choose a niche. So let's say you're choosing like a niche like outdoors, like camping or something like that.
Which seems like
Um,
a common niche.
yeah, I mean it's a pretty common niche. But let's just use it as an example. I mean, you probably want to do a little bit more niche research, kind of see what the competition is like in that particular niche. But uh, let's use it as an example. So I don't like what a lot of affiliates will do will be like 10 best like camping stoves or something like that.
Yep.
Or they'll be like camping stove review, like this specific camping stove review. Everybody is doing that, right? You don't want to be doing that as much. You know, you can do a little bit of that, but what you want to do is like find these long tail kind of topics that people are writing about, and like how to like set up a camping stove in the dark or something like that.
Right.
And then I mean, more so try to think of stuff that people are searching before they're buying. So like, I don't know, like what's the best camping stove for like snow, like backpacking or something like that. Or
How do you find those?
so I like to use like suggest tools, and I find like we're actually making a suggest tool, so I'm just gonna say that, and
Nice.
that'll be on the site soon. That I believe you'll have a few uses for free. But I do like the keywords everywhere suggest, where basically if you type in a keyword on the right hand side, it'll kind of tell you like longer tail stuff. And then also, you know, you can see the traffic and stuff like that, but also the suggest at the bottom of Google. Or when you're typing a keyword, like you might type how to like, what's the best camping stove, and then space, and then put an A and see what it auto corrects you. And, you know, just find these long tail stuff. And when you find those, you know, you can find these opportunities, because let's say you type in that keyword now, and if you see that like there's nobody serving that question, if you will, or that query. So it's
Like no exact match targeting, or they're just kind of
exactly like you can see the title tag, or maybe it's just like a forum rank #1 because nobody wrote an article about it, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe the #1 is like has like 400 words or something, where you're like, okay, Google's just like literally stuffing anyone here now because there's no one really serving this. So
Right.
then you go and you just write a better article about that. And then if you're putting it on a high quality domain, you're just going to rank. I mean, it's just like that simple. And you don't even need backlinks or anything like that. You just put their weight, and usually you'll rank. And there are situations where even like these parasites, like sometimes for whatever reason, like so I want to mention this because some people might try to do this, where they'll go to and try to make like a WordPress subdomain or something like that, and they'll be like, oh, it's a high quality domain, like I should be able to rank. But sometimes, for whatever reason, some stuff they just don't show on Google. I don't know why, or you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because it's a high-powered domain, it's like, so let's say it's a Tumblr like subdomain or something. I think they do subdomains on Tumblr. I'm not sure, but they're not going to show that for like SEO tips or something.
Well,
Like
that's what I was actually going to ask you is like, do you think that like topical relevancy matters for a site? Like for instance, content
yeah,
silos.
I do. Well, I think not necessarily content silos like what we were seeing with that last client we were looking at, but just like the niche of the site, I think it matters.
Well, I mean, because if you look at Medium, there's articles for everything. But
Yeah.
if you have, let's say, the client we were looking at, where they have a bunch of products and services and blogs around that one thing, would that be a better place to put an article about whatever they do versus Medium? Is my question.
I would think so, yeah, as long as the domain was also powerful. But I think that you can rank with the general niche kind of blog like Medium as well. I don't think you can't rank. You get what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So just probably not as powerful.
Yeah, and I think like the ideal is, because I do also think that there's a tiny like tinge of difference between publishing on user-generated content type places like Medium and YouTube versus actually publishing on like authority sites. Like for example, like if you could somehow do a guest post on Moz. So if I think you were asking before like how to rank for like SEO tips, right? If I could somehow get a guest post on like Moz, or the most powerful like industry blog, then I put a skyscraper on that blog, and then I do social promotion to that, I think it'll rank.
So let's talk about guest posting then.
Yeah.
How big of a priority is that for you?
Well, the issue with guest posting is if you're just trying to get people to siphon them to like your Facebook group or something like that, put a link in the article here, join Chase at his Facebook group here or whatever, then that's good. But you can't really put affiliate links in these guest posts. So as far as like actually using the guest post as your main asset, and the other thing is you don't own that website and you don't even have a login, so
Right.
they could just take down your article. Or I've heard of people switching the affiliate links to their own affiliate links. They'd be like, oh, this person put all this time to rank on my website and now I own this. So I wouldn't put too much investment in that unless you're just trying to build brand and you're just trying to get people on your Facebook group or subscribe to your channel or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have a question. Dennis wants to know what your opinion is of Yext or any other platform tool versus manual citation building.
particularly, I have never used Yext, but I think a lot of these platforms are just, you know, just trying to get your money, basically. They're just trying to call local businesses that know nothing about this, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll get you on like 200 sites, and like you'll get all these calls or whatever." And
Yeah.
nobody is going on Hotfrog and like trying to find a plumber in their area or whatever.
That's why it's always funny when people are like, "Oh, I don't have an address, so like, what should I do about like Hotfrog?" I'm like, well, you could probably just put your home address. Nobody's going to show up at your house from Hotfrog.
You can, or if you're worried about it, just put a partial address. So
Right.
just, like, put the street but no number or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
don't really worry about that stuff too much. Like, I don't really trip about perfect NAP consistency or whatever. I have faith that Google kind of knows like what your business is and stuff like that,
Yeah, it was funny, dude. I when I first started the iPhone repair company, I sent a letter to the old business that I used to work at. It was an SEO company, and I got it verified there. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna build my citations here. Nobody's actually gonna show up at the address.
Yeah.
And with the iPhone repair company, everybody wants to show up and see you in person because they don't want you to mess up their phone.
Oh, yeah,
so they'll literally, I had countless people just show up without even calling. Out the door, and we're not even like a real like an established business.
You were like a lead gen, basically.
Yeah, and they'd show up and they'd go, "Is this iPhone repair Santa Barbara?" And it would be me and all my coworkers just on our computers working.
Yeah.
Oh, awkward, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's why. Yeah, as long as on Google and on Bing and the big sites, you kind of hide your address. I wouldn't worry about the other stuff too much.
So what do you think about social media?
I think social media is great. But I think as far as like, what do you mean? What type of social media? Because there's a lot of social media.
Like in terms of what you're doing with it. Anything? Like I know obviously
I'm not really doing much because I find the most direct money making type of stuff is if you can do content marketing on either Google or YouTube, and then you can kind of use Facebook to promote the content there. I like what you do with like the boosted posts and stuff like that. I'm probably going to do more of that stuff with Keywords Heaven.
But I mean, isn't all social media and Google and everything all content based anyways?
It is, but the benefit of Google and YouTube is that you're giving people what they want at that exact moment, right?
But I would say with the way algorithms are being made, that it's sort of the same thing on other platforms as well.
I would disagree with you because I don't think they're getting the timing right. So maybe I can find someone who like the only like remarketing works really well, we know, because someone came off a search engine. Someone typed in blue shoes or whatever, like blue Nike shoes, and now they click the #1 result. Chances are they want blue Nike shoes, right? So
but what if they're shopping on Pinterest for a board of different shoes and the timing is more on their time versus, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's more so top of the funnel, right? They're not necessarily like, they might find that shoe on Pinterest and then go and do a Google search or an Amazon search, because Amazon is also a search engine, Right. So they'll go do an Amazon search, whatever ranks #1, that matches what they were looking for, they'll pick that up. Mm-hmm. So like Facebook and Pinterest and stuff like that, they're more like discovery type platforms in general. Mm-hmm. I'm not, and maybe I just haven't put enough time into it or explored it enough, because obviously this is just my kind of where I'm at right now, my perspective on it,
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I am a big believer that it's all content based. So like whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Pinterest, people are looking for the content, but they're not just looking for any content. They're looking for like the content, right? They're looking for, the board with the best motivational quotes. They're looking for the Facebook group with the most active users, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that drives those groups, I think, is content really at the end of the day, you know?
Right. Let me
So,
give you an example. Like, for example, sorry if I interrupted you, Jay.
no, fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Like Neil Patel, like ranked #1. He has this like case study where he used this black hat method where he basically like acquired this WordPress theme.
Mhm.
And you know how in the footer they have a link or whatever, like created by this company. He just pointed that to his affiliate site, which was a web hosting affiliate site.
Mhm.
And basically, if you don't know, web hosting has like 40% reoccurring commissions on some of their affiliate offers. So like really high payouts, right?
Mhm.
And basically what he went and did is like pointed all those at his site, like 10,000 links or something like that. Ranked #1 for like the 2-word keyword web hosting. And he said he made like 100,000 a month off of that one ranking, right?
Right.
So as far as like money goes, it is my belief that like SEO and like search engines, like traditional, Amazon, Google, uh, being whatever, if you can rank in these for like the money keywords, because people pay $100 a click for some of these keywords, man. And there's
Right.
a reason why they do that. Facebook, they can't charge that much because the traffic, it's not as buyer intent. So
But let's also add in there that Neil Patel is doing this and figured this out back before, that keyword was probably not even, close to as competitive as it is right now.
right. No,
But
I get what you're saying, but that's not what I was saying. Yeah, okay, that's true because maybe it's easier on Facebook or something. There's more opportunity.
right. So my point is that what if the content you're looking at right now and your bias around, search engines mainly, what if you started streamlining your content on these other platforms as well?
Right. No, dude, I agree with you, man. I think if you can do everything, it's ideal, right? You just be on all traffic sources, like kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
And it's not only the reason is because, you think those are the best, but also you want to be diversifying your assets and stuff like that. Because, if you listen to the whole story, eventually Neil's site got taken down and his whole business was like gone basically.
Right.
But if he had somehow made a brand around web hosting on other platforms and, built an email list or built a Facebook group or something like that, then, he could have continued to make money off of that. So you're right. But
Well, I think we can at least agree on the point that content is definitely one of the biggest,
100%.
assets that you can have, or at least something that's going to help drive your brand, content marketing. So, in terms of streamlining content creation, do you have any tips around that? Because I'm always looking for ways to like make it easier to build content, make it easier to rank for things.
See, that's where I'm honestly trying to figure it out too, man, because the one thing that you don't want to be doing though is as soon as you start streamlining, especially with content, there's a lot of like junky content writers out there. So
Right.
like you don't want to be diminishing the value of your content at the same time, but you want to be creating a lot of it. So I don't know, man. To be honest, I'm in that same dilemma right now. I'm trying to figure out, how do I not diminish my content quality, and how do I not pay like $100 an hour for a writer at the same time? You know what I mean?
Well, it's a huge question that I always wonder about is like, how do you, hit the thing that people are actually looking for? Because if you take like an article, like how to find your subscriber count on YouTube,
Yeah.
do you need somebody really skilled at that? Or can you get a bunch of those type of articles and give that to somebody who doesn't even really know proper English, but have them take all the screenshots for you, to have them take all the, the information that needs to be there, and then have, somebody maybe reword that.
No, you're right. You're totally right. You can have anyone pretty much write that because it's so specific. But for something like rank and rent SEO, it's like, you can write, 6,000 words about that, and it's got to be like good quality, you know, something, I guess. So if it's a very specific, you know, just meeting this specific need of the searcher, that's good. But, you know, I think that the other type of content is much more brand building, though, when you're talking about wider kind of concepts, and you can write those big kind of skyscrapers about it and explain it. Because, I mean, I think what you said was how to find your subscriber count. It's like, okay, someone's going to click onto that article, figure out how to do it, and then it's not really building your brand that much, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Do you think it is necessary for business owners to write their own content?
I think it's really good, man, because I think, you know, we've been pretty successful with our content. We've only written 7 articles, but I write all the articles as far as the SEO niche, because I really believe that it's converting much higher just because of the quality. People say like CRO is getting the best content, like building the best brand within your content. And then, you know, kind of linking to whatever relevant thing. So for example, we have one like how to rank higher in Google Maps. That's ranked, I think it's ranked number 1 or number 2 or something for that keyword. And it's great because the people that are searching how to rank higher in Google Maps, like, obviously want to rank higher in Google Maps, right? And some of those are potential clients. We used to get almost a lead every day from it, but, you know, I changed up the landing page because we were getting a lot of price shoppers. And I know I've seen videos where, you know, inbound is great, but you also get a lot of junky leads sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because you take, for instance, the keywords SEO for dummies has a huge search rate.
Yeah.
The person who's ranking on the first page with the first video, because it is a video result.
Yeah.
First is a guy who shows you how to do SEO, Google SEO for dummies in 7 minutes. It's got 51,000 views. It's probably generated this guy tons of leads.
Yeah, for sure.
And what does he explain in it? He explains how to build links with Tumblr, Weebly, and WordPress. Right? But that's what I'm saying is like,
yeah,
is again text-based content. Because if you were to, here's the thing, if you were to write that article, which you did, you know, how much time did you spend for what payout, right?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. Text-based takes longer.
But I am curious though, like how much time do you spend on these articles?
I write, you know, I spend at least probably 6 hours.
Wow.
I mean, no, actually, I'm going to take that back because I have a guy that helps me edit them. My business partner helps me edit the content. So I'll probably spend 2 hours. And I'll really just try to write it really good, man. Just the best I can think to give advice. And I think you do need to be a subject matter expert, man. Like, a lot of people are going out and they're creating content on how to do stuff and they don't even know how to do it themselves, you know. It's like, what gives you the right to, like, you know, if it's something like really easy, if it's just like you were saying, like how to find your subscriber count, that's like, okay, that you don't necessarily, you can just learn how to do it and then explain it to someone. But if you're trying to show them like how to rank locally or something like that, you can't just be like Joe Schmo copying and pasting like Backlinko's blog and changing words around and stuff like that. I mean, you could try to do that, but you're just not going to create like unique value, you know? Like, the people who are going to go and read it are going to be like, I've heard this 1,000 times. Like, I know I need to build citations. Like, this isn't like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't adding any value to my life.
Well, you'd actually be surprised, man. I've been looking at this one. If you look up this one website, I think it's called Noble Collations on Ahrefs or on SEMrush. They are ranking for some crazy keywords, like insane, like literally like sex toys on the first page, but also like SEO company, like on the first page.
No,
like all these different things. I swear to God, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And And literally and they don't even have that many links going into these pages.
No.
Huh?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
All they're doing is they're taking giant architecture and internal linking and just freaking blasting these different categories with content. And it's not even valuable content. It's literally like 300 words on the page.
Oh, yeah. Because the other thing is, if you have that high-powered domain, Google's going to favor you even if your content isn't as good a lot of times.
Right. But what's a way to build authority is through also streamlining content on other assets and building audiences in these other assets. That's why you can take somebody like Ty Lopez, who has 127,000 monthly searches on his name.
Yeah.
And put his name with like anything, Ty Lopez marketing, and then you can start ranking for things around marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Because that's, I would think, and I've heard other people say that that's actually a ranking factor, how many searches you have per month. Because I think Google tries to determine like offline and also, you know, other platforms, how popular you are, right? So someone might be huge on Instagram or whatever, or huge on TV, but not ever have a website, and then one day make a website. And, you know, a lot of people would want to find that content. So Google understands, you know, we need to know who's popular offline so we can give them brand points on Google too. And when they write good content, you know, people want to see that content. So we want to put it at the top.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting.
But the other thing is, if that person from online is publishing a bunch of content, they're going to be getting a lot of direct traffic, which I saw SEMrush put like the #1. Well, apparently they did a study in 2017. They put the #1 ranking factor as direct traffic. So if someone puts chasereiner.com, like direct, no search, like just put it in the bar or whatever, and go there, the more you get that, apparently, the more it builds rankings, because Google's like, wow, people really want to go to this site, man. Like, we should like help people get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's definitely changing a lot.
Yeah, because I think what they put links like #5 ranking factor in that SEMrush study, man.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while. I really think that links will be arbitrary at some point. Not that it really matters anymore, because I don't really, again, only focus on SEO anymore. But I'm telling you, man, I think the best thing that people can invest in is being able to streamline their content in a quality way that hits on multiple assets. So
Right.
being able to take, let's say, a blog post, streamline that blog post, and then but hit the content requirement. Because I think with any piece of content, there's a requirement. If you look up how to send money in Snapchat, I think the #1 video, it has 70,000 views. It's a 1-minute long video. I recorded on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't write a huge article about that. I didn't, and it's probably ranking on the first page of Google too.
Right.
But what that did is it served the intent. It didn't serve anything more than that. And I think what ends up happening is with marketers, they start thinking so much about how to rank that they forget what intent is, and they start trying to over optimize what they're going for. And then they end up trying to rank for too many things, or they exhaust themselves, or whatever it is.
Right.
But if you can figure out how to market your content rather than just SEO it, that's when you start making the money. Because again, I put out a piece of content. Here's something that I did recently.
Yeah.
So when I do a YouTube live Q&A. I try to do it every week. And I did one this morning. It was about an hour long. Anytime somebody asks me a question, I press the start button on my OBS and my recorder. And then at the end of the question, I press the off. It's a 4-minute long question I answered around different subjects.
Okay.
I now have 13 videos sitting in my queue in 3 different platforms: Facebook groups, Facebook page, and my YouTube channel.
Right.
Every single one of these videos that I've done before this has gotten around 300 to 400 views each.
Right.
So for an hour amount of time that I did the Q&A, which also the Q&As get about 300 views, and it keeps my audience engaged because they know that I'm talking with them and that they're not just people watching me. That altogether equals out, including the YouTube views or the Facebook views, which my Facebook group videos get around like 1,000 to 2,000 views per video, and not even the Facebook page could be around, let's say, 20 to 30,000 views by the end of the, couple weeks.
Okay.
And so the point is that I don't know if those are the same people watching or what, but that's still crazy remarketing, and it's streamlined like insane. The other thing that I do is I go to Pitchbox and I have somebody filter through all these different websites for different things. Let's say people with multiple emails on a website. I have them only find one person with an email, and then it outreaches to them for a tip around whatever, Snapchat. But these are more opinionated things. So anything factual, I'm gonna have other people write. Anything opinionated, I'm either gonna write or I'm gonna have other people leave their opinions on. And then I outreach them based off that. Another thing that I do, get this, Facebook groups don't get indexed.
Yeah, I know that.
So
Okay, sorry, Chase. I just want to say that's like one of the most ridiculous because if you think about platforms, hold on, I want to get back to what you're saying, but if you think about like platforms like Reddit or Stack Overflow or all these platforms, most of their traffic is just people finding them through Google. Like, oh, I had this issue. Now there's a forum ranked #1 for this topic, or Quora or whatever. Like these people have ridiculous Google traffic.
Oh yeah.
And it's just that it grows the platform by so much, because you wouldn't know about like Quora if it wasn't for Reddit, or Stack Overflow. I mean, sorry, not for Reddit, for Google showing them all the time. So I don't know but Facebook, I guess they don't need that.
They don't care. They don't want it. They already have too much going on with them. They want to die down a little bit because people are just freaking out about all the controversy. They don't want other people talking about all their stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. But to me, I'm like, dude, there's so much user-generated content just because what Google is it's just an organizer. It finds all this content from across the web, and when you search something, it gives you that thing. It just gives you it at a split second. And there's millions and billions of whatever content everywhere. Just, and this algorithm can just give you exactly what you want at that exact moment. So the forums help because they're like people like literally answering questions that other people are asking. Obviously, later on, someone's going to have that question and they'll just get it answered right away.
Right.
With the Facebook group, it's like all these questions, new questions, that you might not have thought of are getting answered, and they're just disappearing into the feed somewhere. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, get this. Facebook's already ranking for 224 million keywords on Google.
Yeah, I mean, of course. And they don't need discovery traffic. I mean, people know about Facebook, so.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You can actually utilize those keywords that they're ranking for. So here's the thing that I haven't really told a lot of people about, and I'll tell you this.
Okay.
You can actually take any brand, let's say YouTube, Facebook, anything that's insanely branded.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you can pretty much assume that they're not doing SEO.
Yeah.
Because anytime somebody has an insane brand, what do they need SEO? They always say, what's SEO for if I have an insane brand, right?
No, but I disagree because you need to build the brand though, Chase.
You do.
Start out.
I'm on the same page as you. What I'm saying though is most people don't. So what ends up happening is you have these really strong brands ranking, Facebook.com, Snapchat.com.
Yeah, YouTube.com.
But say you wanted to start getting articles for Snapchat. Say you wanted to start building your Snapchat profile.
Yeah.
But what do? Instead of going and trying to dig for random keywords, go enter in snapchat.com and Ahrefs or SEMrush and filter by their lowest difficulty.
Yeah.
All of those articles ranking are articles that are so not related to what that brand is targeting, meaning that none of that stuff is exact match. It's literally just ranking because the brand is powerful.
They just have nothing better to put there. They just
rank it because it's the brand and there's nothing else there.
Yeah.
So then you end up getting thousands and thousands of keywords around Snapchat.
Yeah.
That has that literally there's only 5 pages on Snapchat, but it's ranking for, millions of keywords, right?
Yeah. But it's not just about search volume though. I mean, what do you do with that traffic? Now the people want to learn, how to do this on their profile. Like, you get what I mean? It's also about getting the buyer intent type stuff where you can convert it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part, right? But if you're somebody so that's where you have to bridge the gap, right? Because if you're an expert at Snapchat,
yeah,
and you get a website that has, 50,000 visits a month or 10,000 visits a month for Snapchat related queries, you're going to know exactly what to do with that traffic. So
that's true.
Because you're going to know, okay, I need to get these people into my Snapchat groups. I need to send them this many images. I'm going to sell them this product, whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is that my biggest concern is not, it's not per se traffic. It's more about how to utilize traffic, because I know people who I know this one person who has over 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
He gets 6,000 views of video.
Right.
And he's like, I asked him about like how he's making money, and he's like, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but he's not killing it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, and we've talked about this before. If I had 6,000 SEO or at least online marketing related people watching my videos per video, I would be killing it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's because I can't go out and do that. I'm not saying that I can't go out and build that channel, but I'm more concerned for me to be able to monetize traffic in general, versus trying to go out and build all of it at once and not know what I'm doing like that. Like most people, it seems to me like most people who get a lot of traffic.
You're absolutely right, Chase. I mean, one thing that is important is, like I was saying, getting the right traffic who intend to do what you want them to do anyway. But I mean, on the other side of things, there's a whole industry called CRO, where basically that's what it is. It's like, now I have this visitor, how do I create maybe this funnel or whatever it is so that I can get them to convert and monetize or whatever I need them to do. And, there's tons of wasted traffic. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, someone with that traffic should go back and look. I think like Matt Diggity has a whole agency where all they do is CRO or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, CRO seems to me like something where you're taking a traffic source and then making more money off of it, which I feel like pretty much anybody could kind of figure that out. I think what I'm more interested in is like more like marketing rate optimization in a sense. Like anybody can be Ty Lopez. I mean, not anybody, but anybody can take the model that Ty Lopez has.
And just do it in another niche or something.
Yeah, build a bunch of traffic, sell people shit that you don't actually do, and just bank off, people that don't know what you're talking about. But nobody wants to be that guy at the end of the day. I don't even think Ty Lopez wants to be that guy. He just is making money off that. It's working for him. That's why he's doing it. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Maybe he does like being that guy. Who knows? But like marketing optimization in a sense is more like, again, scalability, figuring out how to take that thing we're talking about, the thing that people are actually looking for, that minimum, but also the maximum, the thing that's better than most things.
Yeah.
Are already out there. And then figuring out how to easily hit on that multiple times. I think the reason why you're doing well on Google for the SEO related queries is because you sort of hit on that, right?
Yeah.
You kind of know the happy medium. You're not going out and spending 12 hours, not spending 30 hours, you're spending 6 hours, right?
Yeah. I'm making sure to write the best content that I can, though, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, but at the same time, you know that works, right?
Yeah.
If I were to take and say, hey, Cameron, I'm gonna give you $10,000 right now to spend it on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah.
You'd probably sit there and be like, well, what the fuck, right?
Well, in the SEO niche, I don't know what I would do, honestly.
Or even
Well,
in
on
the SEO,
Facebook, I would just promote the articles I'm writing or the YouTube videos I'm publishing if I was to do that.
right. So if I gave you $10,000 and said you had to use this in 2 days, what would you put it on?
$10,000 in ad spend?
No, just $10,000 right now in 2 days. What would you put it on?
Just content, man.
I know, but do you have all that lined up?
No-brainer to me.
Do you have
That's
that all lined up though?
Yeah, I mean, I would try my best to like hire whoever I could or whatever, and just do that because I know that asset's just gonna keep paying me, man.
But
Like,
that's the hard thing is like you have to build your way up to that, right? You're not even in a position where if you got $10,000 tomorrow that you could put that into content because
no, you're right. You're right. You need to figure out the systems and stuff. You're right.
yeah, because you don't know if you spend $10,000 and then you get 5,000 of that wasted, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could end up with just a bunch of junk content and just that would suck.
But that's the hardest part is like taking that budget or taking the money you currently have and figuring out how to use that towards like content marketing or just marketing in general. Like how do you streamline an effective marketing plan? And I think that's where most people don't focus. I think most people just want to buy a link or they just want to, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if I'm telling someone, okay, so you want to build this site, go out and find the keywords on YouTube and Google and create 100 articles and videos and just rank for everything around that particular niche and then remarket them on Facebook and get them on in a group or email list or something. That's the easiest business. It works. I guarantee it'll work. If you can rank and you have good content and you can plug certain things in there like a course or whatever you're plugging in there, you will get people to buy your stuff. It's really that easy, but people are lazy, Chase.
Yeah.
There's these affiliates or whatever, they're sitting there in their room. They're like, how do I do this spam and just get, like make like $10 here or something? Like, no, I'm serious, man. People don't see, no one's going to go there and write 100 articles and make 100 YouTube videos, like that's something you did and it worked really well, It was just the consistency and it's also building deeper relationships. People say you have to interact with the brand. I don't know who says this, but someone said you have to interact with the brand 7 times on average before they buy from you.
Right. But I mean, if I look back at it, man,
yeah, and
I look at the 700 videos I made and I got in the last year, 216,000 views off or clicks off of YouTube into my videos in the last year. And I think to myself, could have I done that in half the time? I think the answer is yes. And the reason why is because I think with what I know now, I could actually do a lot less with what I know and still been able to rank still brought in the audience, still bring in the traffic, all that kind of stuff.
No, that's true. And that's why content strategy is important. As a plug, we do have that as a service on our site. I mean, I'm sure Chase does that too or whatever. But if you're trying to start a blog or you're trying to get into content or something like that, I would not recommend just doing random videos. And this is more speaking to whoever's watching, Chase.
Oh, no, I did a bunch of random videos.
Yeah. but go out and, for example, like your rank and rent video, that's the type of content that I would make. I would find a keyword I would deliberately try to rank number one, because you're not just ranking for that topic, you're just becoming the authority. Like, no, sorry, you're not just ranking for that keyword, you're becoming the authority for that topic now. And
Right.
people are going to go on YouTube, you know, probably whatever, 100 times a day or whatever, and search rank and rent. And now they're going to discover Chase Reiner. So you're just getting these new discoveries every day, this new traffic of new people. And then you can get them in your funnel, and maybe the next ring in the funnel is the Facebook group. Now you can remarket them in the Facebook group, and then after a while of doing that, you know, they're comfortable with you, they buy your course, they buy an audit, whatever. But you got to get that discovery in there, you know?
Right.
So, and also just not just the discovery, but the authority building, the like super high quality content. I mean, if you look at all the big people in the niche, that's what they do, is they create these authority like building things where you read the content or you watch the video and you're like, wow, this person, like, they know exactly what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, no offense to you, Chase, but also like making that super condensed, you know, like some of your videos like 2 hours long. It's like, it's cool for reoccurring, I guess, like building deeper relationships with the people that already know you. But someone who just wants to learn about rank and rent and now finds your video, you know, they might not necessarily want to watch 2 hours. They're just trying to get their answer to their query. And if you can condense that knowledge and answer their intent and things like that, they really, you know, appreciate that, and they're going to start following you and building, you know, you can go deeper with them and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, you know, the supply and demand. Again, you know, if you have, let's say 50 people with rank and rent on YouTube, well, you got to make the 2-hour long video. But if you only have one person and they got a video from 2015 talking about rank and rent with, you know, Tumblr or something weird, a 5-minute response video is exactly what people are looking for, even if they're looking for more, right? It's the same thing that, was it Henry Ford who said, you know, they asked for a horse and I gave them a car.
Yeah.
But you don't even really need the car. You just, I mean, you need at least a horse there in the first place. And I think for me, I'm trying to figure out how to streamline giving people the horse that they're actually looking for. Because I think that there's still, I mean, there's so much oversaturation, but the problem is that Google and these other search engines are still ranking the wrong content a lot.
You think so?
I mean, not everywhere. I think they really have it down, but when it comes to opinionated things, so yeah, I'm not talking about.
So okay, I get what you're saying. Sorry if I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
But like you were saying, SEO for dummies, for example, this is a great example, right? Okay, Chase, let's imagine you make I mean, you try your best to make it simple or whatever, but inevitably it's going to be complicated, right? And it's not going to be like some guy who's a plumber is just going to one day like go and be like, oh, I watched Chase's like 6-minute video and now I know exactly how to do SEO.
Right.
What they need is not actually what they're looking for in this case, right? So what they're looking for is literally like a stupid solution. Some guy just says, go and sign up for WordPress and make a blog on there and point a link back to your site. Okay, I know how to do that. Now you're like, oh, go do keyword mapping, go do all this stuff. They don't actually want to hear that, Chase. Like, that's not actually, you know what I mean? Like when they type SEO for dummies, their intention is to find, like, in a way, like a dummy solution. And that's why the search engine kind of picks up on that. They're like, oh, people are having good user engagement on this dummy video. And so we're just going to put it. So they just give people what they want. They don't necessarily give them the best.
But
you know what I mean?
Thing, like, I think you can still make gluten-free brownies taste good. So, you know, just because they're gluten-free doesn't mean, you know, that they're not going to be still amazing and what people want. It's just that most people look for regular brownies because that's what tastes the best. But if you can at least make it a little bit healthier, right?
Yeah.
Then you're still winning. You're still bringing people in to get to
I
the
get
next
what you're
step.
saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But you have to keep it dumb at the same time. You have to match their intent at the same time.
Right.
Okay?
But you're
So
still,
you can't stray too far from what they're searching for.
but that's what I'm talking about. This right here is what I've been trying to, convey this whole time is like,
Yeah.
there is a really nice spot to be in for almost any industry.
Yeah.
As we saw with that previous site, we didn't even know some of this stuff existed, or at least
Mhm.
I didn't. And, if I would have, what if I tried to come up with a solution like he did? I don't
Right.
know. I don't know. Cause he doesn't even really, I mean, when he started, he probably didn't even really know that industry.
Right. You're absolutely right. I mean, and I think it's much easier to become a niche in an industry that isn't about marketing or isn't about, I don't know, like finance or something that's super, like flooded with people. So if you can find a niche and just be like the coach on like how to give like the best like PowerPoint presentation or like whatever, you could, get massive consulting fees, sell a lot of courses, do all this stuff because there's no competition. Just rank for everything around that niche in, super easily too, and just drive in all this traffic. And basically, you're just known as the guy. Now they're paying you, I don't know, $10,000 to speak at conferences. You're the only guy that's, the biggest guy in this thing. In our niche, there's Backlinko, there's Neil Patel, there's all these big people that, you know, it's much more competitive. So that's another thing is it's much easier to be a big authority if you can just, even if you can micro niche, you can be even a bigger authority.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, even in the SEO niche, you could be the local SEO guy, or like the maps guy, or the rank and rank guy, or you get what I'm saying, like the Amazon affiliate guy, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in almost any situation, even if you are that guy, like I've been that guy on SEO for a while, at least somewhat that guy. And even me, like it isn't till recently that I started to figure out like what's working. I just created a new site. It's called blackandwhite.ninja.
Yeah.
Stupid name, right? I mean, it's just something I just put on there just because I just wanted something up.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. In the last 2 days of having this site, I've literally gotten like 30 people, 20 to 30 people sending me contact forms asking me for help with above $1,000 budgets. I haven't even called them back yet. I was supposed to call them today. I haven't called them back. I mean, it makes me
great, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is you know what I figured out?
Yeah.
I figured out that by separating the ability to contact me directly and putting the sub brand in before my name with an application to get in contact with me.
Yeah.
My value went up like 100-fold.
Interesting, man.
And that's just one of the many things that I figured out over the many years. And it's things that I can apply to any industry.
For sure.
So yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like,
I think you were. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's just crazy how you get into this stuff thinking that SEO is going to be this thing where you rank keywords. And it is, but then it ends up being like 100,000 other things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, you got to be smart with your monetization. You got to be smart with what you're ranking for. So, for example, like you can rank for a bunch of stuff, and it's possible that you won't make any money, if you don't know what you're doing. Whereas there's other stuff you can rank for, and a monkey could make money with it. For example, like if I can rank #1 for like Plumbers Miami or something like that, and just put a pay-per-call offer and just send all the traffic there, like I'm gonna make like at least probably $200 a day. Just if I'm ranked #1 with a bunch of reviews or something like that.
Right.
Like just like with a 1-page site, like no conversion rate optimization, no remarketing, no smart marketing in any way, just pure SEO. It's like you can make money that way. But you know, if you're trying to do something like bigger than that or something, then yeah, it's good to get smart with these little things like you were saying, because that is super interesting, man. That literally just making that contact form skyrocketed your conversion rate.
Yeah, or you can be the SEO guy, right? You can be the SEO guy, but I mean, even as you witnessed with the phone call earlier, you
Yeah.
know, it's not like just because I'm the SEO guy doesn't mean I'm super confident in that in the sales area or in the
Sure.
you know, there's a ton of different things that I who position myself as the guy had a really hard time figuring out how to do, like, you know, managing an agency, hiring people, streamlining content, you know, selling, all the things that end up being the actual backbone of a business, right? Because again, I think that's why people like SEO. I think a lot of people like SEO because they want to get in to an hour-long video about how to make $500 a day or $50 a day ranking a site for target keyword like this other person.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but the thing is that anytime something's easy, it
Yeah.
generally isn't long term.
Yeah. Relatively true. Yeah.
Unless you figure out how to take something that's complicated and make it easy. Right? So again, taking what you know, breaking down that into simple things, and then using that knowledge to end up making a lot of money. Like for instance, the way that I'm streamlining content now, where I'm still able to bring in a bunch of traffic, but I'm doing, you know, 1/10 the work that I was doing the videos as I was before.
Right.
Just because it still hits that barrier of what people are at least wanting to a certain degree. I mean, obviously you can expand and make that better. You can always go above and beyond and bring in, you know, limitless amounts of traffic. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that anytime you spend too much time on one area, you end up limiting yourself on other areas. Like for instance, even if I had 6,000 people contacting me, as we said before, or that extra $10,000 in my bank account,
Right.
would I be able to know how to use that? And that's what really messed me up in the very beginning is when I first started making a bunch of money, I shouldn't have been making that much money, to be honest with you, Cameron. I remember I was living in a garage. I made $8,000 in 1 month.
Nice.
And to me, that was like, you know, a lot of money at the time. I was barely surviving, and $8,000 at the beginning of the month, just like that, right? In my bank account.
Great.
And it destroyed me, dude. I'm not kidding. It destroyed me. I saw my check. I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing any videos for the next like week. And it wasn't because I didn't want, it wasn't because I didn't feel like I had to. It's because I literally didn't want to. I just I was tired. I got demotivated. I was tired. I was like, you know what? This is something that, you know, is finally working. And so, or working, quote unquote, in my mind, right? It wasn't working at all. I wasn't doing well. I had, you know, all that work to fulfill. I had no idea how to manage all these different businesses. I didn't know how to email the clients correctly. I mean, in the way that I should be talking to them.
Right.
But in my mind, the $8,000 correlated with success. Just like how you take somebody who has a really rich parent and they just give them a bunch of money and they don't know how to interpret that. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to, right. And so I think that's the biggest lesson I think people need to understand is like, you know, just because you're making a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it correctly, or vice versa. Just because you're not making any money doesn't mean you're not doing it right.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right, because what you should have done with that 8,000 in retrospect was figure out how to create systems to where now you can just sell deals, and now you have a back end that just finishes the work or whatever. So then you're kind of like, you know, you're scaled to what you're doing. And that's what I think a lot of people, and you know, and me included, like when I started, I was the exact same way, man. I sold a bunch of clients. I built that little YouTube channel. Even me, I was getting leads. I was getting, you know, selling clients. You know, I didn't have time to deliver all this stuff, to be honest. And honestly, once after I worked on a few people's sites, I was almost like, this is not like really what I want to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I thought that like everyone told you you have to build this agency if you want to, you know, build an SEO business. But you know, there's many other ways to build an SEO business. And I think when you're starting out, you need to, the best thing you can do is have a business plan from someone, you know, and in any industry, people do this, but in SEO or internet marketing, people kind of skip over this. They're like, oh, like, I just need to figure out like how to get money, like how to like, you know, make a sale like right now. But it's like, okay, now you made this sale. Now you have to actually like deliver the thing. And like, nobody knows how to do that. You know, it's like, they're not thinking about the whole business. But you know, once they get in that situation, then they kind of realize it, then they can grow and fix and things like that. So I don't think you should even worry, Chase, because that's kind of just the learning process, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that happened to you one time and now you grew and you kind of learned, you know, what it really is and things like that. And I think that's the best thing about building your own business is those little failures, if you will. I mean, that was not really like a failure, but it's still like kind of like a learning lesson type thing where, you know, you got in a situation, now you learn how, you learn what was wrong, and now you can get better and better, you know?
Yeah, I think that, and then also like, you know, if I could have looked or gone back and told myself something, was like to just kind of be okay with the ups and downs, because I would get really demotivated for like months. And I just felt like it was because I just didn't like doing SEO anymore. And in a sense, I didn't, right? I didn't like doing implementation
Right.
for other people. I like doing SEO for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree with you on that. Me too.
yeah, but then like, you know, and then even then, you know, lately I have been more focused on doing like social media stuff because I think it's really interesting. And instead of me looking at it from the view of I need this to make money, because I don't know what happened, but at some point I got distracted by money.
Yeah.
And I just stopped kind of caring about actually, you know, learning or figuring things out or any of that stuff. And I just wanted to make money, which money's awesome, dude. Like winning and making money and being able to go out and like spend it and that kind of stuff.
Of course.
That is a really cool feeling. And knowing that you did that yourself is awesome. But at the same time, when you don't have anything to show for it, like it's just money and you don't actually have any sort of like value there. Like, you know, just because you have money doesn't mean you have value. And there was a lot of times where I stopped creating value because I was creating money.
Right.
And now what I do is I create value, not because I want money, but because value makes me happy. Value makes me feel like I need to do this new thing. I need to show people. I need to create something that's going to happen.
Right.
You know, and getting in that energy, to me, like it's so exciting for me. I get more excited by creating a mastermind that people want to join, or a course that people want to take, than actually selling the thing.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get to that point, because you have to love the journey, right? The issue with money is that it's not something that it's just something you get and then it's just kind of over. It doesn't motivate you day to day type thing, you know? If you love what you do every day, it's just getting up and doing that thing keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
And I think especially for someone who's, I always recommend that, because I've made this mistake myself, was early on, I quit my job, like where I was doing SEO for this local company. And at first, it was hard to make money or whatever. But, in the early phases, the money isn't necessarily just going to show up. And these people, that are trying to build an SEO business, they need to love doing it, or else it's just not going to work,
Yeah.
So.
Well, especially for the hard problem, I think the biggest thing is like, if you know that you're not going to love doing it, then do something easy, right?
Yeah.
Like, do something like, going and making $50 a day doing, link build. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
just build one-page local SEO sites. Or
something. Yeah. Just say, hey, look, I'm making money. It's cool. But if you want to, really create something of value in your life, you have to you have to love it. Like even you, Karen, I don't think you just make those one pagers because you want the money. I think it's also because you actually feel awesome when you see that you did it. Like,
oh yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like, it's not just about the money. The money, if you can look at it this way, where the money is like a game, where it's just like the points are just racking up, where it's not necessarily about the money, but like you feel like that element of success when you're doing these things and you're building it up,
Dude.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I have a secret Facebook group that nobody knows about, and there's 30 people in it, dude. And every single person in there is making over 6 figures a month.
Oh, dang.
And, just huge people.
Yeah.
I won't even name who they are because I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just telling you, I put them in there because I want to be able to network with these people and extract their knowledge from them.
Yeah.
And all these people, dude, they literally just treat money like it's a video game. Like, they don't even care about it, dude. They just go, I wonder how I can make 10, like that guy. I wonder how I was trying to hit 10 million this year, but I guess it just didn't happen.
Exactly. No, it gets to a point where I think what they were saying is happiness is tied to money at about 70. I think it's like 74,000 a year. Once you pass 74,000 a year, the link between happiness and money starts to diminish and eventually just becomes negligible. Like, there's no difference. It's just like, if you get like your basic needs met and you can like, like eat wherever you want, you can like go out if you want or whatever, you could take a trip, you can do all these things, and it's just not going to be like you're broke and paycheck to paycheck or whatever, then, that's the only thing that like really ties it to happiness.
Yeah.
And then once you're making 20 million a year, there's no difference between making 22 million a year as far as like your happiness level, like
yeah,
it's like, who cares?
Yeah. I think a lot of people again get lost in the end goal of things, and they end up, it's crazy too. You take people with millions of dollars and, they don't even know what to do with that much money. And I think that's really the biggest thing is like, and I say that all the time, that's the biggest thing, but I think something that's really important to look at is, how much those people actually made that money versus how much that money made them, in a sense. Right. Yeah. Because really rich people, not all of them became really rich because they like earned it. They, some of them, or a lot of them did earn it, but
yeah,
I think there's a good amount of people that speak on behalf of, or based from their like high stand up, there's, I don't know how to say it, from a higher point, or like that, they're higher than other people because they were able to make money. But I look at people who make a lot of money, and not all of them are super intelligent, they have good work ethics, but there's a difference between people who make money and people who create value.
Yeah, no, that's true, because there's a lot of people out there, and almost like probably some of like a higher percentage of the richest people you probably would never know. Like
Right.
they're just in some random industry like oil rigs or something like that, and they're just freaking racking in cash.
Yeah.
And you don't even know who they are or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, maybe they love doing that. I don't know, but you know, that's the other thing. It's like, if you really want to go for money, like maybe starting an SEO business is not like the fastest way to it.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah. And I think that, like, I was going to mention this because one day it crossed my mind when I think we were talking about this too. Is like, my buddy was like, hey, I'm just going to like, he's like a digital marketer too. He's like, I'm just going to start like a moving company, man. Like, long distance moving company. Basically, you know, each one of those is like $2,000. Like, and I think I could just sell like a couple per day or something like that, and just like, you know, make a lot of money. Like, like really, if you're an SEO, like you need to think of different ways you can monetize your skill set, right? Like, don't think that, I want to tell this to like people trying to start a business, because I'll see a lot of them just like, how do I get a client or whatever? It's like, that's not the only way to make money with SEO. There's like literally so many ways.
Yeah.
Go start it, like go call someone who literally, you know, from high school, who has like a business or like is trying to start a business, and just be like, hey, like give me 50%, like I'll sell all the deals for you. I'll get all the calls, I'll answer the phone and sell all the calls, and you just basically handle the delivery side of things.
Yeah, I think it's also giving value up front that most people don't want to do. Everybody wants to, you know, make all this money or get paid instantly, and they don't think about the actual initial investment on things.
Yeah, it's gonna take you, okay. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is like we were talking about before, you need to invest, not you, but I'm just saying people need to invest in content. Like, you can't go and just be like, okay, I want to be the biggest authority in like how to start a cleaning business like today, like all of a sudden. Like, I need to go and create 100 articles and 100 YouTube videos around that topic. And, you know, that might take me a year before I start to see like, or whatever, like a really high ROI from this. But that's what it's going to take. And that's what separates the people who are successful, I think, from the people who are not. And in online marketing is like, can I deliver like an insane amount of value? And to me, it's motivated me a lot when I just see that the money is there, because I think a lot of people are like, ah, why would I just go and just create all these videos? Like, I can't see an ROI from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to just like tell these people out there, like, if you believe in like SEO, then why wouldn't you like SEO for your own business? You know, like, and
Sells SEO but doesn't do SEO.
yeah, exactly. Like, they're not even, you know, like one thing is maybe you can rank yourself locally. There's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you could, like you were saying, like, you know, post content, or like, I think a great thing is like niching down, right? So maybe you're like the SEO for all carpet cleaners or something, and you just go out and you rank for all these topics around, you know, there's a lot of keywords like carpet cleaning leads, like how to get carpet cleaning leads. Boom, you got it ranked #1 for that article. You're gonna bet people are gonna search that, and you know, go on your article. I've looked at this stuff. It's just, it's uncompetitive. Nobody's doing it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, if you want to start an agency, go before you even start anything. Just get content assets, rankings, get like leads coming in the door, inbound, and then maybe you can go outbound. Once you, it's just inbound. It's like market your own business. Like, you're a marketer, just market yourself. Like, go then get a sales guy, like whatever, pay him a salary, give him a commission. Now you got the guy on the phone all day. You're ranked on Google. You're ranked on YouTube, you're, you know, pushing like Facebook ads. How many people that say they're starting an agency are actually doing all that stuff?
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah,
Well, and the other thing too is like not just investing in content, but also investing in the fact that you're going to fail. Like,
for sure.
the faster you can fail at things, the better, because then you're going to figure out from a situational standpoint what doesn't work and what does work based on instead of a conceptual standpoint.
No, you're totally right. And I don't think, at least for me personally, like I can't really learn without like, I can't fully learn without doing it myself and, you know, experiencing the result and changing and adapting, you know?
Well, yeah, because from a conceptual standpoint, there's 1,000 to 10,000 to even hundreds of thousands of different things that could go wrong. And that's why when people conceptually think about the gym or about doing video of themselves talking or any of this stuff, that, you know, all these different unknowns are going to come into play. But from an actual momentum-based standpoint, where you're in that thing, you're doing that thing, you're no longer dealing with all of those conceptual factors. You're just dealing with getting that thing done, right?
Right.
And then revisiting it afterwards and thinking, okay, well, what could have gone better? What could have I done differently? And then there could only be like 5 to 10 things there, right?
Right. No, I agree. I mean, I think people really just need to get in the door and just start doing, man. Like there's very few people who like actually are doers, and those are the people who end up, I think, winning, and not because they're smart. Like,
right?
I'm honestly not like the fastest learner, man. Like it takes me like I know people that can pick things up like crazy fast, but the difference between me and them is that I like will just do it a million times and I'll get like 30 times better than them at it because they've only done it like twice.
Right.
Or they haven't done it at all. They literally just read a book and somehow, you know, they even conceptually like know it to an extent.
Yeah.
And so I mean, that's all it is. Like it's not about like if you want to get rich, like you don't need to be smart. Like you just and also you kind of need to get specialized at what you do well and try to like figure out how to streamline everything else. And streamlining is a skill, like figuring out how to create systems and build businesses and things like that. Like and I saw this from some guy that has like a landscaping YouTube channel. You know, he had a guy on there that had like $100,000 like window cleaning business a month or something like that. And it's like he was saying like you need to stop being like the only guy in your business. Like you need to stop like doing everything yourself. You need to create like systems so you can sell a deal and then it just, you know, makes you money. And then you could focus on what you're good at. Focus on creating more content. Focus on getting more sales, you know?
Well,
And,
here's an interesting thing to think about. Like,
yeah.
if you were to look at yourself in 2 years, would you still be doing the same things you're doing right now in terms of the way you're creating value?
Probably not, but ideally, I mean, if it's working, you just 10x what it's already working, you know?
Yeah, but what usually works ends up being something that you can streamline, right?
Yeah.
So,
But for example, like, you know, we work together on like an affiliate basis, right?
right.
I know that's a good deal for me because if I go out there and spend all this time, hire people for my agency, create all these systems for doing the audits, for giving proposals, for collecting payment, for touching base with the client, for doing reporting, for doing all these things, I'm not going to be able to focus on making the deals. And I'm also going to spend a bunch of money, which I'll probably make the same amount as just, you know, getting a commission, you know?
But what if in 2 years from now you became so successful that you just bought another business, another SEO agency, right?
No, that's great, man. I mean, if they have the systems and literally you're like, I will sell a deal and you guys will do everything after that. Like literally, I don't want to touch it. And
Yeah.
then you see how that becomes a money machine, because now you just go and you just feed the machine. Basically, you're like, how do I make sales? Like that's all I do all day. I will never, because there's only a certain amount of things we can think about in a day. So
But
like
the
for
but the
example, like sorry,
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was
No,
just saying, like for example, Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know if he still does this, but he wears the same clothes every day because he doesn't want to ruin the decision making power he has.
there's no
Like,
ROI.
yeah, there's no ROI. So it's like it's so streamlined, right? It's like I can only think about important stuff. Like if I spend all this time, like because this YouTube video won't upload, I spend 4 hours trying to like modify the file, and it's just like, you get what I mean?
Right, but the question is, if you're going to be doing that for the next 2 years, how does the complexity of the situation change? If it's the same, then what ends up happening is you make the same amount of money, right? Because you're not fixing anything more complicated than you did 2 years ago.
Like,
So,
go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, it could be that it goes up just because the market wants it and you become more of an authority in branding. But for the most part, the amount of money you make is based on the complexity of the situation that you figure out how to solve, because that's what people are paying you for.
Yeah,
So,
but you don't have to do it. You can create a system that solves the solution.
oh, and I get that, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that from your personal standpoint,
Yeah.
how does that become more complex?
How
Like
does
your own
like,
personal, say for instance, sending leads to somebody else.
yeah.
What is
So
your scaling on that?
so for example, I was doing like, okay, let me tell you exactly. So at first, I was trying to work with local clients, right? I was cold calling. I was trying to close deal. People were, stiffing me on bills, whatever, from time to time. I had to learn how to do billing. Then I had to learn how to do all this stuff. But if I had put my head down, made 100, one-page sites that just made leads, like crazy leads, and just sent them to affiliate networks. And by the way, you could do it the opposite way around. You could be the guy who just brokers deals. You could be the guy who just knows a lot of local clients, gets them all to pay him a bunch per lead, calls, some affiliates and brokers the deal and makes money that way. But when you're going and you're trying to do both and you're doing all this stuff, it's like you get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't do any of them because you're trying to do them all at the same time.
Right.
So that's what I realized. And there's a middle ground to it. There's like, okay, so what I really want to do is I want to build up all these sites, get them making passive income, and then I'm going to go to a broker, or maybe I'll go to, someone, like I know these people too, that will give me a higher payout. I'll be like, hey, I'm getting like 30 calls a day or whatever, 100 calls a day. Like I'm getting a trash payout from this affiliate network. Can you give me, I'll give you 20% of everything. You just need to broker the deals.
But I mean, it sounds to me like your content is, again, all through you as of lately, right?
Yeah. And
So,
but that's only because, for example, if I'm trying to do the agency, if I'm trying to deliver the services at the same time, I can't focus all my time on making the content. So if
right.
I'm affiliating the content, I mean the agency stuff to you, then I can just do content, and I have the mental, you can't be Superman. I mean, it literally is like you only have a certain amount of decisions that you can make in one day. You can
Right.
optimize your health and things like that so you can do better, and your motivation, but at the end of the day, there's no denying that it's hindering you from achieving this one thing, like ridiculous.
Right. So in terms of like how that's scalable though, is like, that's what I'm concerned about is, are you going to end up 2 years from now writing all these pages, but still being that person who writes the pages and doesn't end up figuring out how to streamline that process?
Yeah, I mean, so then you can go to micro streamlining, right? So
yeah, that's where I'm at.
yeah. So then like you're like, okay, so now I need to create all this content, and I have other people doing the agency stuff, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I can like micro streamline the content side of things while at the same time micro streamline the agency side of things, and just creating these crazy systems. And this is stuff that we don't learn like in school.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like it's just like you have to learn this either by, I mean, I don't think even if you become an MBA, like you're really going to understand it. The best way to understand it is to actually do it. And
yeah, it's all about streamlining, dude.
It is, and it's about creating systems, because then it's like you were saying, like other people will then start using your systems, like me.
Right.
And then you can, because it's just mutually beneficial. Or the other way around, you who have someone who has a lot of sales can just go to someone who already has a streamlined system and just make good money without, worrying about a lot of things that they might not understand. They might not understand how to do a proposal or like an audit, or no, not an audit, but like doing the sales or doing the billing or doing the reporting. And I'm one to say, like, you don't need to learn that. Like, you need to just learn what one thing like really good, and basically try to create systems around everything else if you can.
Yeah. The question though is, how can you get your micro streamline to streamline for you? Like to create more streamlines. Like that's what I'm interested in.
So then you have like people who are training other people, and
right. Yeah. Not only that, but then also innovating on their own as well. I mean, I have people, I try to get interns who can learn for me and pay people who can learn. So part of the reason why I'm paying people for content, for factual based content, isn't because I want to only rank. It's also because I want, one, a script for me to talk about on my channel, on my YouTube videos, but two, because I want them to learn the thing for me and present it in the way that I know works the best for me and my audience.
Right.
Right. Because then they're going out and creating the content based on what I want to know. And the keyword research that I do is now more of a actual learning, like encyclopedia, where I go, I want to learn that, I want to learn that, I want to learn that. And I give them the stuff. Because I don't want to learn it based on what other people are teaching and all their, extra bloated content, all this crazy stuff. I want to learn it based on somebody who's actually learning it for me, going and creating it and then giving it to me in the way that I want that thing.
No, that's true, man, to streamline your day. But at some point this can get overloaded and you're spending all your time streamlining now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you can't overthink this. That's the one thing about streamlining is people, like, they have no business and then they're focused on streamlining their business, It's like once, and it's like you can't overthink stuff at the same time. So
yeah,
because streamlining in and of itself and breaking that down, it's more like management and HR and hiring and giving out, tasks and projects and stuff like that. That's a skill in and of itself. That's a 40-hour a week skill, man. Hiring people and all that stuff. And so companies will have departments that hire people and train people, and like you were saying, but that stuff doesn't get built up overnight. And that's something I understand, I understand from trying to make my own agency or make my own pay-per-call business, is that it's not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as selling the deal and all of a sudden, like, you get what I mean?
Yeah. It's fun though. I mean, it's addicting is the thing. You get it going once and then you're just like, okay, now I gotta get this to work again.
Right, you get better and better and better, man. So that's why I don't even worry about things, because I know I'm gonna learn from it. Even when I fail, it's almost like I got it now. Okay, so next time I'll do this. And that's the attitude of, I think, successful people, is just learning that failure, it's actually a good thing. I mean, not actually a good thing, but it's not what you think it is. It's
Yeah.
literally just part of the process. It's just part of it.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me today. They said, how do you go and put yourself out there on those videos and, go and like do all the things that you do online and not, worry about or not be scared of it. They said,
Yeah.
I'm in awe of the fact that you don't have any fear. And I said, well, hold on. It's not that I don't have fear. It's
Yeah.
just that I act in opposition of my fear.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
take that fear and I just do it anyways, because the thing is that I remember one of my first podcasts, I did an interview with someone. I did it with somebody who was really actually part of a big company. I won't name the company, but it was a pretty big company.
Yeah.
And I got on the podcast, and thank God nobody now who knows me will remember this, at least not watching this video right now, I don't think.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of it, like right, you and I were talking right now, just like this. And the video was on me, the camera was on me. I was like, okay, and so what do you think about, and then I froze, and the guy was staring at me, and there was 20 people watching, and I'm like looking at the screen, and I'm just not saying anything. I'm just staring. I'm freaking out. And I can't talk, dude. I literally could not talk. Like I couldn't remember what I was saying. I couldn't talk. And it was one of the most awkward situations I felt like I've ever been in. And I had to I stopped the video and I told the guy I couldn't do it. And I said, I was sorry. And the guy waited like, 2 weeks to get on the thing with me. And I felt awful. And it was terrible. I had to delete the video. And what wound up happening is after like 20 minutes, I felt bad, but it wasn't like, that was the worst to happen. I kind of just laughed about it, like how ridiculous it was.
Yeah.
And now whenever I tell the story, I just kind of laugh about it because it's just funny that like, that I went through that and that I froze, because the thing is like, I don't do that anymore. And the thing that I figured out is like, okay, well, when that happens, I just keep talking. And then if I forget what I'm saying, I just move on to something else. Not a big deal. But the point that I'm trying to make is that, you're going to have moments where things do not work. Like you're going to really fail miserably. But again, if I conceptually thought about that, it's awful. Like I would never want to do that. But if I conceptually thought about a lot of things, like making the agency and all these things that I wound up doing, if I were to know what I know now about starting an agency, about doing a lot of stuff that I did, I probably would have never done those things because of how difficult it wound up being, right?
Well, so any other business you start, they recommend you make a business plan. And as part of the business plan is you go to other people who are doing that business and you go step by step. You're like, month 1, this is what I'm going to do. Month 2, this is what I'm going to do. And you create a whole plan. You do the sales, you do the delivery, the finances, the accounting, the everything. You plan it all out. And, me included, I didn't do any of that, man. And I think it's good. It's good to just jump in and whatever, but at the same time, it's like someone who wants to start this kind of business, they need to be focused on that. And they also need to be focused on marketing. So they need to know, for example, I know like I need like 10 leads every whatever to like do what I want to do. And now I need to figure out how to do that, like
Yep.
you need to like really think of the micro. And it's good to be in it's good to be in the macro at the same time, but there's more to it than people think, and they'll eventually learn it if they're resilient and they're willing to fail. But what happens to a lot of people trying to start their own business is they go into it and it's just something, it's like 100 other things they didn't expect because the guy that they were watching on YouTube told them, yo, like you can start an agency in one day. Just, you know what I mean? Like go and like whatever, I don't know, somehow get a client and now you have an agency or whatever, which
Yeah,
is great, but it's just like they're selling them something that's not really true, you know?
yeah. I mean, it's funny too because you take people who are again selling this stuff that you can do this thing, and so people look at those people and they go, "Oh, I can be that person," but
Yeah.
then, when they actually when it comes down to being actually somebody who does that thing, who generally isn't those people that are selling it in the first place,
No.
they don't think about, okay, if I want to make $10,000 a month doing SEO, I want to be the
Yeah.
manager of an SEO agency like Chase, and I know he makes that much. I saw his Stripe account or whatever. And they go out and they start doing that stuff. And then they go, okay, what's step number 2? I'm going to follow Chase. I'm going to take his course.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that in the part where he said he's working 80 hours a week, that
Yeah,
that's what I would need to be doing for that much money, you know?
for sure, bro. You can't, yeah. And it's because, yeah, you can, with brute force, you can get through like not having any systems,
Right.
which probably initially you need to do, you know. And then once you do that, you learn the importance of systems or whatever. Or just scaling back and going to like an affiliate model where you don't actually need any, like, you don't need to hire a bunch of people or whatever, you know. But it's about knowing what you're getting yourself into and then kind of deciding what is the best SEO business model for me. Do I want to create a local company? Do I want to, you know, do I want to create a local long distance moving business? Do I want to be a SEO agency? Do I want to do affiliate pay per call? Do I want to do um, you know, affiliate Amazon sites? Like, do I just want to blog? What do I want to do? Do I want to sell courses? Like, do I want to be a coach, a strategy coach?
And
So
not just knowing what you want to get into, but like what you're going to actually have to do to get there.
yeah, no, but I feel like the issue is like people don't know exactly what they want, and then that's why they don't know what they need to get there. You know?
Right. They just go, "Oh, that looks cool," and I
Yeah,
might like that. And that's the other thing is I see all these people who they want to do something with their lives, but they don't even know what they want in the first place.
for
So
sure.
they take SEO because other people are making a bunch of money. They're all stoked about, fired up. I haven't slept in 3 weeks. I'm making all this money, right?
Yeah.
And then people get high off that shit. But
Oh yeah.
at the end of the day, like if you're not gonna actually enjoy what you're doing and you're just trying to find something to fill the hole that the whole like I don't feel like I know what I want, all this stuff, you're not going to stick around. I mean, I've seen so many people come and go from my YouTube channel and from people messaging me and saying they want help and all this stuff, that I automatically assume that like 90% of people who get into something, they end up leaving it. But the smart 10% of people, or the part of that 90% that actually end up leaving and finding something else better, are the people who actually went and tried that thing, made some momentum, and then realized that the thing on the way was the thing that they wanted.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's like a dilemma for me because I'm you know, I'm telling people to like plan their business, but at the same time, it is good to jump in there. And I don't think it's necessarily smart people. It's just resilient people.
Right.
It's just the people that like stuck with it for years and years of through like the early stages of like not having much success and stuff like that, and then just adapting what they were doing. And at the same time, you know, it is being smart in that it's realizing where your, you know, what the bottlenecks are, what you need to change, and being not necessarily smart, but like adaptable, like being like, okay, like this is what we need to do. Like we need to change this whole thing. A lot of people are scared of changing or doing things a different way, or going into the unknown and things like that.
Or they're scared that they're not going to like the thing, and it's not going to be something that they, end up really wanting to do. But that's what's funny is like when I began doing this stuff, at the start of this whole journey, I got fired by a sushi restaurant, and I thought that was it, dude. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go apply at Taco Bell if I'm lucky, right? I'm going to get accepted.
Yeah.
And I was 20 years old at that time, 20 years old. And I got hired by Radio Shack. And that was when I started like getting interested in building websites. And that wasn't even interested in building websites. I just knew that it would probably be a good thing for me to learn. And I found somebody with a relaxing voice that helped me fall asleep at night. And what wound up happening is that just led to another thing. I got hired by a company because they saw I could build a website, and then they wound up needing me for IT stuff. It's just so many unrelated. Like, it's funny. You look at people who are really successful, and they all say, "Well, first thing I did is I picked up this book, and then overnight, I wound up making $1 million." Right? But what ends up happening is it's just all these weird situations that take you to your end goal. Like, you and me talking right now is just a series of weird situations that led up to this, where I just said, you know what? I'm going to push a little bit more, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. And then, you're exactly right, bro. And it's the people that are willing to be like, hell yeah, like, let's go to the next step, then go to the next step. And then that's where you kind of learn like what you want to do. And then you can change and keep going in that way. But it's like I was saying earlier, if you don't love the journey, that's all part of the journey, like figuring out where you want to go and what you want to do and all that stuff. Which if you're just pushing every day, like you're going to get closer and closer. And it's like, there's no finish line. Like you don't want a finish line, right?
Right.
You don't
you don't want to, what happens in a finish line in life?
Yeah, it's like you're dead or whatever. It's just that's what people don't realize. Like they just, it's the journey. It's like it doesn't matter if you do something today and it's not like you're not getting where you're at, as long as you're pushing towards that and you're working hard and you're willing to change and adapt and like move towards success, like, and you're just willing to do that for years and years, like you'll probably get there,
Have you ever played the N64?
Yeah, bro.
Did you ever use the Game Shark?
Yeah, the cheat.
They put the code in the game cartridges, and then you end up getting like unlimited live stuff like that.
I feel like mine like broke or something like that. Like I bought one, but it was like really ghetto and didn't really. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know, a couple hours. And then I couldn't play the game anymore. I literally couldn't play it with the cheats or without the cheats.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like life. Like, same thing with when I made the $8,000 in a day, right?
Yeah.
It was almost like a cheat code where I got super high off of it for like a couple hours. I was stoked, made a post about it in my Facebook group. And then I had like a 2-month long mental breakdown, right? Because I wasn't enjoying SEO anymore. And then I wondered to myself, like, why? And it's always the same thing. It's, if it's not about the journey and I make it about the destination, what ends up happening is I hit that destination.
Yeah, and then you're like, now what do I do, right?
Now I'm purposeless.
Yeah. Exactly.
But if I take the journey and I make it into the destination, that's now my purpose. And my purpose is something that lasts for as long as I want it to.
Yeah, exactly. It's limitless because it's just every day you're just doing what you love. As long as you're doing that and you're just loving the journey and you're going forward, that's all you really got to think about.
And to take it to more of like a philosophical standpoint, I break it down to like, the journey to find meaning in things versus the journey to exploit the meaning of things to make money off of it.
Right. And everybody has a different journey. It's just like, you should just do what you want to do. You know, you should set a macro goal and just, you know, start with that. And then you're going to learn along the way what else you like and all that stuff. And you don't need to know in a specific thing what you want like today, you know. You just need to like get some idea and just start rolling with it. And I promise, I mean, it's gonna change, you know. Like,
yeah, that's the one thing that's constant.
yeah,
It's change.
exactly. And so, yeah, man, I mean, and if that's why, like, I mean, if you're not cut out for that kind of life or whatever, then you should probably like just get a job or something like that, because it's probably not for everyone, you know. A lot of people, they see the only reason they're doing this is just because they want to make easy money. And that's okay, but from what I've seen, in order to make easy money, you need to put in a lot of work up front, build a lot of assets, and then those assets are going to create a lot of money for you.
But even at that point, is it easy money, right?
I mean, no, I mean you can. Like if you set up a lot of big Amazon blogs or, you know, other affiliate sites, and they just sit there and just bring you in money or whatever.
But like what I'm saying is that like if you work super hard for it,
yeah, it's not really easy money, but yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that people don't see that part. They just see the, like, I remember you post, I like those pictures you post, by the way. Like where they don't see like the million steps before like the guys on like the whatever, like juggling the things,
Right.
million broken plates.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it looks like. And sometimes these guys that are doing these YouTube videos and the coaches or whatever, they're kind of exploiting that. They're like,
Right.
oh, look at me, it was so easy, it took me like 10 days and I was able to like make a full-time income like completely passively or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like come on, like just, I don't know, man. Like maybe it's possible. Like I never like to say like never, you know, but it's like 90% of the time or whatever, like a really high percent of the time, that's total facade. People are getting into it for the wrong reason. You're attracting the wrong people just to make money off them, because you're selling them something that isn't actually true. It actually is more work. Like, I think there's some quote out there. It's like, I become an entrepreneur to make the same amount I could have made at a job, but work like 10 times more or something like that.
Yeah.
like, or something like that. And it's like, yeah, like, you know what I mean, man?
Yeah.
It's like when people are getting sold the dream of like this fast cash or whatever, it's like that inevitably attracts the wrong people that aren't meant to be doing that. And then it just, they all fail or whatever. And then it just like, you know, gives a kind of bad taint to the industry.
Yeah.
But that's how like people like Ty Lopez get rich, man, because they go out and that appeals to anyone, man. Like to literally be like, yo, you can like make like $1 million in like 10 days or I don't know, whatever it is. Like you can literally, your audience is like the whole world. They're like, how do I do that? Please tell me.
Yeah.
I will buy your course. I will buy this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just go and sell all your, what are they? Your golden caps on your teeth. What are they called? Fillings.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
you can afford my $6,000 course.
Yeah.
I was at a conference once and it was literally the same sort of people. And they literally said that. They're like, we don't care if that's what you have to do. You need to make this happen in your life. And people were like ready to rip their teeth out, dude.
Yeah. No, I'm serious, man. And I mean, the best courses will pretty much like teach you, like, that's why I love SEO, because like it is like that, where it's like, okay, like all you need to do is like do these specific things, and like you know exactly what it is, and then you can like earn income, you know.
Right.
So it's like I do like courses that can give you that plan of action, you know. So it's like how to rank a pay-per-call site, how to monetize it, period. Like make the money, right? Like fully transparent. Like that simple, you know, like these simple business models. Like I like fast cash, but at the same time, like I don't like people who are selling these facade fast cash kind of dreams or whatever.
Yeah, um the dream, yeah.
Yeah, so just make a, I don't know, make a $1 million funnel. All you have to do is buy ClickFunnels through my affiliate link, and then I get 40% reoccurring commission on all your monthly payments. And then you could also buy my course in addition to that.
See, that's what we need to do. We need to do a webinar one day where you and I get on there. We get like 400 people on there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we just tell them what's really going on.
Yeah, for
That'd
sure.
be hilarious, dude. How funny of a webinar would that be? Just record all the comments that are coming in.
Wait, what do we do?
Just like today, we're going to show you 3 simple steps to buy our affiliate offer. And we're going to just be as transparent as possible right now. First of all, at the end of this, there's going to be a call to action. We're going to pitch you till about 80% of you leave.
Yeah.
And at that point, then we'll turn off the webinar, but there isn't actually an end time to this webinar.
Dude, have you, wait, dude, this is funny. Have you heard of Builderall?
No.
Okay, so it's apparently this, I don't want to say too much about it now that I'm live or whatever, because I don't really know that much about it. I'm going to disclose it. But it's basically like an MLM, like affiliate program, where how it works is it's like an alternative to ClickFunnels, where it builds landing pages, and it also does like SEO tracking and like a lot of other stuff. But apparently, like it just doesn't work very well, and it's like only $30 a month. So what people are doing is they're going out, because what happens is if someone buys through your affiliate link, and then people buy through their affiliate link, you get tiered commissions.
Yeah.
So you get commissions from other people. So what people are doing is they're just going out on Facebook and they're just messaging people and being like, hey, like I'll give you free coaching on how to like basically do affiliate marketing. and they're like, all you need to do to like do my coaching, like the first step is you just need to buy Builderall. and then we can like, because all the tutorials are in Builderall, so you need it to like do this thing. And then once you have that, then what they teach you is how to promote Builderall. So then you go out or whatever, the affiliate, and get more people. So it's like MLM, and apparently it's like all over YouTube. Like people are just promoting this shit like crazy, dude. And like it's really getting big too. Like I think people are really buying it, but then, you know, it's not sustainable, because after they buy it, you know, if the product's not actually good, then.
Right.
But, you know, like that's one thing that I was thinking about is like the internet kind of creates like ways to like scale like things like MLM, which I am not a supporter of in any way, but, you know, is arguably a good business model as far as like cash wise.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen anything like that before, where it was like an affiliate program that gives you commissions for other people you recruit to the affiliate program. Because that's one thing about having a successful affiliate program, which, for example, ClickFunnels, a lot of their success was on the backbone of their affiliate program, because a lot of big people in the industry, you know, obviously Russell Brunson did his own kind of promotion, but a lot of other big people in the industry were all recommending it because of, you know, I mean, they probably liked it, but also because of the high commissions. And then also they apparently will like buy you a car or something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
How I got a $32,000 car using Builderall.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's like it's creating like these viral things that people can kind of do on YouTube. Like these influencers be like, how I got this car or whatever.
That's smart though, because that's what sells on freaking social.
Oh yeah, man. Well, it's just getting really clickbaity, but I don't think you have to do that kind of stuff to really get traffic.
Oh my God, no. MLM is one of the most cringy things in terms of marketing that I've ever seen.
Dude, it's disgusting. I
It's
mean,
so cringy.
dude, it's like man, I had bad experiences because I go to networking events like meetups and stuff like that. That's another thing I recommend if you're trying to pick up clients or anyone else is trying to pick up clients or whatever. But you always see someone trying to MLM, and a couple times,
Oh, I know.
they even got me, man. They were like, yeah, like for sure. They were like, what was I saying? Like there's like this girl there, and apparently she just like pretended like, I don't know, she liked me or something. She's like, hey, we should like go out sometime or something.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay. And then she basically, what she did was she took me to like an MLM event, bro. And I was like, what the F, man? Like,
so bad.
it was like one of the worst things I've ever experienced, man. I was so angry, dude. I was like really, really angry. I was like, do you really think like this is the best way to like get me to like do this? Like, I had no intention of doing this. Like,
so funny.
You should have literally like told me what the offer was.
Oh my God. I remember that happened to me one time too, dude.
Yeah.
I remember my friend kept saying that I needed to talk to his friend. It's happened to me so many times, but one of the times this guy gets on the phone with me. He's like, hey, my friend's going to get on the phone with you.
Yeah.
And it was so awkward because I was good friends with this guy. And that we were in a 3-way phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy just starts going off on me. He's literally like yelling at me. And I'm like, I don't know what this guy's problem is. I've never talked to this guy in my life. He's telling me like that I'm not doing something. I don't even remember what he was saying to me, but he was just talking mad crap about me.
Right.
And then I finally, like, after like 30 minutes of him yelling, it was literally a long, I didn't even know what to say. It was like 15 to 20 minutes, actually. He finally gets into like his pitch, talking about how I need to be a part of his group and all this stuff. And if I wanted to like, man up and like whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was like literally speechless because I'm like, what kind of insanity is this?
Yeah, I know.
It's just crazy, dude.
Yeah. It creates like really bad. They're all just salespeople. They're not actual marketers. Like,
they're just like, hive mind mentality. They're just following blindly what everybody else in the hive is saying.
Yeah, kind of. And I mean, I don't think they realize that like a lot of these MLM companies, like the actual product they're promoting is like super trash. It's like,
well, it could literally be a rock. They don't care.
Yeah, no, the company doesn't care. It's like Herbalife or whatever it is. It's like some like supplement or something that like doesn't actually work, or like these knives that are like way overpriced or something like that. And then they expect these salespeople to go out and like sell this thing that like really sucks. And what they could do is, if they're really good at sales, I mean, they could go get a affiliate offer, or they could call a local business and say, hey, like, I want to work for you on like a commission basis, or maybe go to you and say, hey, Chase, like, let me get like a reoccurring commission for everyone I bring in.
Or they could just make their own product. It's not that hard.
Yeah, or they could make their own product and sell it themselves. And it's like,
I mean, how hard is it to make a protein powder?
No, it's not hard. I mean, you can pretty much get like a white label,
right?
Like where you're just basically selling some other protein powder. It just has your brand name on it. And yeah, and you could just go out and sell that. And if you really believe in it, it just becomes much easier and things like that. I mean, I don't know. For me personally, I can't sell something that I just believe is garbage, like,
yeah.
It just becomes way harder. And then obviously it's just not going to sell. Like the reviews, like people will you know, some people might be sort of convinced and they're like, okay, let me go online, like read some reviews. Everyone's like bashing it, and they're like, you know, some of these people have potential. They could be good salespeople, but you know what they're selling is junk, and honestly, how they're selling it is junk. You know, you can't just go up to random people and just try to sell them stuff. You know, like it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Hey, sorry to cut this short, man, but
Yeah,
I gotta eat dinner with my girlfriend.
for sure.
But
It's not short, man. It was pretty long.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely do this again. I know a lot of people were talking in the comments saying that they love this stuff. So next time, let's come up with we'll come up with a little bit of an outline, and we'll figure out.
Man, I was thinking about like a joint course or something.
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely interested. I mean, maybe even something on Rank and Rent. I would be a good one.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, we own like most of the first page of Google for it, so like,
I would be interested. Let's do it. I'm actually finishing up my other course in a couple days, so if you want to start putting together the outline,
yeah,
I'll look at it, and then we can kind of figure out what else we want to put in there. Then we can start. We'll start the pre-sale. I can start the pre-sale in a few days.
Yeah. So guys, take note of this.
All the people who are still here 2 hours later.
Yeah, this was not planned.
No, it was not.
Okay, sounds good. I'll send you more info on the outline. I'll put that together in the next few days.
Okay, and I'll put your number on Craigslist and say that you're interested in affiliate MLM schemes.
And I am a sucker for MLM schemes and an expert at SEO. I'm willing to work for nothing, right?
Yeah. All right, dude.
All right.
I'll
Talk to you later.
To you later.
Peace.
Bye.